Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of hashtag Ask BGTV. And as you can tell, we're in a little weird setup today, but we're doing what we can to bring both of our opinions. Say hello to Jessica.
Hi everybody from the computer in California, what's up?
So hopefully you guys can hear okay, the sound's okay, and hopefully you can actually see her there. So let's just go right into the questions. Jess, ask the first question.
Alright, so Tony Poole wants to know, BGTV, what exercises do you regard as a waste of time?
Alright, Tony, thank you for the question. And waste of time, I mean, that really depends on what your goal is. So I wouldn't say any exercise is a waste of time unless it doesn't help you get to your goal faster. So if your goal is to burn fat, I would say your waste of time exercises are isolation moves. But they are still going to burn a little bit of calories, but just not as much as the compound moves like squats, presses, and pull-ups. Maybe next time, Tony, ask us the question and give us your goal, and then say what is the waste of time for that goal. Then we can answer that next week. Blaze says, I usually do one lift per day, then a HIIT workout a couple hours later. Is it bad to do this every day?
Actually, that sounds like a great workout plan. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to keep that up every day as long as you're not overtraining yourself. You know, we've talked about this before. You know when you're overtrained and you kind of hit that wall of feeling extra fatigued all the time and not getting the most out of your workout. But if you're doing this and you've been doing it for a while and you're feeling great with it, I don't see why not.
Yeah, like I said, similar to that, my only suggestion would be just watch that you're not overtraining, because 2 a day, 7 days a week can be a lot if you're not eating right and you're not sleeping enough. So just watch that you're not overtraining, just like those symptoms that Jess said.
Augie60 wants to know, I'm 54 and I'm lean. Yeah, Augie, good job.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
I just cannot get rid of that last bit of belly fat to show my six-pack. I eat healthy and lean, and I train hard. Do you think it's just that men my age have to work harder at reducing belly fat?
That is a great question. And the thing that happens with guys as we age is our testosterone goes down. So that's just a natural thing that the older we get, our testosterone just tends to go down. So when testosterone goes down, we're not burning as much fat because it's harder for us to build muscle. So I'm not going to say that when you get old you'll never be able to see your abs, because there's many situations out there where there's guys in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that still are showing their abs. So just doing what you're doing, Augie, keep lifting, keep sprinting, keep eating healthy and training hard, and you will get there with consistency.
Miss Ria says, what would you recommend to help get rid of back fat, be it specific exercises or whatever else? And I think she also wanted to know how to use strength in your back as well. So
okay, well I'll address the first part. When you're trying to target back fat, there's no specific exercise that's going to just burn that back fat. That's called spot reduction. That is it's a myth. You can't do it. So your goal is just to burn overall body fat. And by doing that, once again, we're focusing on those compound movements, using a lot of muscles, so squats, those deadlifts, those presses, and high intensity intervals like sprints. And Jess, you can speak to that as well.
You have to start thinking of your body as a whole.
Yeah.
And when you start eating the right way and training the right way, fat will come away from all the areas you want it to come away from, not just your back only. So, but if you're looking for specific back strengthening exercises, definitely try pull-ups if you can't do real ones, do assisted ones, and then rows, and what else, Brad? Pullovers.
Lower back extensions, Supermans. Okay, next question. Claudia DeLeon. Are two-a-day workouts good? I've gotten so many mixed feedback that it's hard to decide what to do. Do I do weight training, cardio in one session, or split it in 2 sessions? So go ahead, Jess, but we kind of already talked about that.
Yeah, 2-a-days are fantastic when you really have a goal that you're striving to reach. I myself, and I know Brad too, has used 2-a-days a lot.
Yep. Because
it's a great technique to overcome any plateau.
Yeah, so if you have the time to go to the gym in the morning and then the evening, do it that way. But if you can't go 2 times a day, do your cardio after your strength training lifting session.
So we have Proud to be Mrs. Wolf. That's cute. Hey guys, I recently found out that I cannot eat any gluten at all. This isn't a big deal as I follow paleo lifestyle except for on cheat meals. I, like everyone else, need a cheat meal once in a while so I don't feel deprived. Although with this new discovery, pizza delivery is no longer an option. I'm wondering, what would you recommend for a paleo approved cheat meal?
So you can still do pizza for your cheat meal, but just don't use ingredients that have gluten in it. So you're going to have to make your own pizza or find a specialty pizza shop in your city because coconut flour can be used, almond flour can be used. I tried some before. They're, it's not exactly the same, but they still are good. So you just have to dig a little bit deeper to find find recipes with coconut flour or almond flour or non-gluten flour.
Plus, there's a lot of other meal ideas that you would find to be a cheat meal, like in our recipe, in our Brad's Eat Clean, Live Lean cookbook. There's so many desserts in there, and I would say like the coconut macaroons I think are like the best. So if you're looking for like paleo treats that are, they feel like cheat meals, but they're actually made with healthy recipes, like you have to go to that cookbook because it has like so many. Winnie Whoa wants to know, what accent does Brad have? In one of the most recent videos, the 8 worst breakfast foods, he pronounced bagels as bagels and not bagels. I've noticed in several videos. Just curious, but meaning to ask.
All right, Winnie, I am a proud Canadian. I should put that in another way. I'm a proud maritime Canadian. So if you don't know what the Maritimes are, it's East Coast provinces in Canada. So I'm originally from Halifax, Nova Scotia. And so I guess you could say my accent was Nova Scotian. Jay Vera, I have cleaned my diet for the past 3 to 4 years and I can't figure out what's happening to my weight. I'm 5'10", 220, 41 pounds, or 41 years old. I work out 5 days a week. I do strength and HIIT. I want to lose 20 pounds, but my body just wants to hang on to weight. I eat about 200 grams of protein, 160 grams of carbs, all veggies and no refined foods. Any idea?
The problem is probably due to having more calories than you need for weight loss. Like you might be eating the right amount of calories to maintain your weight, but you're not putting yourself in a deficit, which is why your weight might not be budging. What would you say, Brad?
Yeah, you should also look at your recovery. Like maybe you're training too much and your body's not recovering quickly enough, so your muscles aren't recovering quick enough. You have too much stress in your body, too much cortisol hormone going through there. So maybe back off on the training a little bit and just, really dial in that diet. You never mentioned how many grams of fat you're having a day. 9 calories for 1 gram of fat, so that's a big one as well.
Just because you're eating clean foods doesn't necessarily mean you're eating the right amount. And I think when it comes to weight loss, like portion control is so
Yeah, so just kind of dial that in again. Really just maybe for a week. Track your calories, count your calories to see where you're at.
Thunderwood, do you consider eating dates? And if so, how many do I eat a day?
Dates, they're fine. It's a very high sugar food because it's dried, so it is a higher glycemic food. How many do I eat a day? That's impossible for me to tell you that. I need to know a lot more information from you about it, but what I would say is dates are fine. It's a clean food, but just try to have them post-workout, and that'll help you shuttle the protein to your muscles and it'll actually help you recover faster.
I wouldn't recommend more than 5 or 6 per day. I think that's like a general guideline for most people.
And it's one of those foods you can overdo, so just be careful. Milka Namina, she's talking about a skin fold with a little bit of fat.
On the belly.
On the belly. Anything I can do about it. That's to paraphrase it.
And she's had kids already, it looks like. And she doesn't want to lose any weight because then she gets too skinny, but had to get rid of that skin fold without losing more weight. This is a tricky one, especially for mothers, because your skin has been stretched during pregnancy, and really there's not a lot you can do about excess skin. And so, if you've already tried losing weight and that didn't resolve the result, then it probably isn't due to fat and it's really just skin. Especially if you're saying it's like a little tiny skin flap and not really, bulky belly. So sorry, but there's really not a lot you can do with that via diet and exercise. It's like more of a surgery.
Yeah, the surgery is always an option.
Jordan Woods, I know coconut oil is good for you and it's high in saturated fat, but how much saturated fat should you limit yourself to each day, considering too much is bad?
I wouldn't say saturated fat is bad. If you go back and watch my recent video on nutrition myths, so much research has been coming out now about saturated fat not being bad for you. It's been all a bunch of BS. So I'm not going to get too much into that. I'll let you check out that video. But you know what? Once again, I can't tell you how much saturated fat to have because I don't know what your calorie goals are and everything else. So I just wouldn't focus too much on that is what I would say.
Yeah, we're not too concerned personally in our own lives about how much saturated fat we're taking in. We've kind of like learned to let go of that fat phobia.
Yeah, as long as the saturated fat is from natural foods like the coconut oil.
Right, you just really want to be avoiding trans fat and chemically modified oils. So
Exactly.
look out for those.
Okay, and the last question to you, Jess, is you'll love this one. How many pieces of fruit can you eat per day when trying to lose weight? From Miriam7894.
I'm such a fruit monster. Brad makes fun of me because I can eat fruit all day long.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. So I would say, it depends on your body type for sure, because I know that there are some people who, can't tolerate fruit and that as many carbs as I can. But I think you just really need to assess yourself and just kind of like experiment on your body a little bit and see how it works for you. Some people are fine with it, some people aren't. So there's really no right answer for everybody. What would you say, Brad? How do you feel for your own body?
Oh, for my own body, I just find that fruit to me makes me eat a lot. It makes me hungry. Like I can't just put it down. I just want more and more. So that's why I don't eat as much as Jess does, but she doesn't have that problem. So if I had to tell you to only eat a certain amount of fruit, I would say 1 to 2 pieces of fruit a day if you're trying to lose weight. We'll give you that, see how that goes, and work with that. So thank you so much for all those questions. If you want to get your questions answered on our show, just send them #AskBGTV, and it's easiest for me to find your questions on Twitter, so if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but hit me up on Twitter with that. And so thanks, Jess, for joining in all the way from California.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me digitally.
And we'll see you at the next episode. Bye!
Love you guys. Thanks for your questions. Bye!
Added a little bit of avocado to the mix. So this is gonna help me with my flexibility gains for yoga, right? You damn right it is.